A function is a relationship where the inputs, or x's, are used only once. We usually use the notation f of x instead of a y to represent the outputs. Let's do a few examples where we just have to identify whether something is a function or not. So for each of the following relations, state whether or not it is a function. Example A is a bunch of coordinate points. I've given you 4 coordinate points, and you just have to tell me whether this would create a function or not. Do not plot these and connect the dots or anything. They are 4 distinct coordinate points. It doesn't make a nice, pretty, smooth, connected graph. But the helpful part here is function means the inputs, or x's, are used only once. So that means if I have an x that repeats, then it's not a function. So all we have to look at here is the x values of my coordinate points. Since I have the 5 that occurs twice, the x equals 5 repeats. That means no, this is not a function. All right, my second example, I have another set of 4 coordinate points. They are pretty much the same coordinate points as before, but I wanted you to see that even though my y value got repeated, that's not the problem here. Even though I use the same number for an x and y, that's again not a problem. You literally only care about the x part. Those are 4 distinct numbers for my 4 distinct coordinate points. So yes, this is a function. This last non-graphical example looks kind of funky, but I wanted you to be exposed to this type of notation in case you see it. They're pretty much giving you a bunch of coordinate points. The coordinate points are domain are your x values, range is your y values. So I have a coordinate point, -2, this arrow points to -2. That's my first coordinate point. Second coordinate point, 0, 6. Third coordinate point, 4, -2, -1, 1, and -7, -2. Since none of these x values repeat, this is a function. If I had had 2 arrows coming out of one of my domain numbers, then it would not be a function. Okay, what about if we have graphs? I don't want to have to look at every single little coordinate point here and compare them to see if any x's repeat. That is when the vertical line test comes into play. The vertical line test helps us determine whether or not a graph is a graph of a function. If you can draw a vertical line somewhere on the graph and the line touches the graph more than once, it is not a function. So just like before, x values occur once for it to be a function, my vertical line can only touch the graph once for it to be a function. So in example D, no matter where I draw my vertical line, it's only going to touch the graph once. So that means this is a function. In example E, yeah, I can draw some vertical lines here where they only touch the graph once. But because I could draw this line here that touches it in more than one spot, it's not a function. For example F, I can draw my vertical lines anywhere and nowhere will it touch the graph in more than one spot. So this is also a function.